Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal one day at a time. I have a little something I'd like to share with you. Maybe it'll brighten your day. It kind of does relate to narcissism, kind of hits home a little bit. It's just something I came across on Facebook. So, welcome to my Facebook page. During all the hard times, you were by my side. I lost my job. You were here. When my business failed, you supported me. When we lost the house, you stood by me. When I had health problems, you were always there. And then the guy says, or girl, yes, baby, I will always be there for you. And the reply is like, no, I think you bring me bad luck. So with our narcissist, we do lose a lot. And sometimes it gets kind of like confusing, like they stood by me, but were they part of the destruction? That's something I really want you guys to take to heart, because sometimes we do miss our person and we're longing uh, to have that love bombing stage back. We think everything's perfect, but when you look back on your relationship, all the destruction, whether it was nights that you had crying, or they didn't help out with the kids, or they left you feeling helpless, or they didn't tend to some of your needs, you're sitting there bending over backwards, you know, and sometimes too it's just like the connection. You just want, the person, when you sit on the couch with them watching a movie, you want to feel that you're there with them. You don't want them to like look at you like, "Ugh, quit asking for the remote," or getting irritated with you when you're like, it was just a question, when the movie's over, I thought we could watch something different. I was going to ask you what you wanted to see. To where you don't even feel like the person you're in a relationship with is with you. And if you guys could comment below, um, was it a very lonely time for you? For me, I had somebody in my house that was very lonely. You felt passed over, to where they don't acknowledge you. They just walk over to the kid, or um, you do something nice for them and they turn it around and nitpick on things you just haven't gotten around to. Not that you weren't even going to do them. Um, how lonely, how heartbroken were you when you were with them? Um, how confused were you? Sometimes things were good, then things were bad. It all depended on the narcissist fuel level, how you acted. If anything ever went wrong, the whole relationship went wrong. Uh, you were treated so poorly over little things, especially when we try to work through things. When we come to them and say, this is kind of an issue, they hate that, because it does make them reflect. We want them to reflect on the situation, how to make the situation better. They reflect back that it's their fault, that there's something wrong with them, that they're a failure. Instead of saying we just need to adjust this, they take it kind of personally. And that's why they act out so much, whether it's a silent treatment, physical violence, raging. It's easier to walk away for them. So they mentally walk away, or they'll silent treat you, treatment you. Um, in their mind, they're walking away. Like, I don't want to deal with it. Some things, especially when you live with somebody or you're planning a future with them, there are things, take care of the little things so they don't blow up into big things. And there's, you take care of the little things. There's not resentment that builds. There's not, over time, people's memories fade or twist. My degree's in criminal justice. It's, witnesses. For one thing, they all have different perspectives, and you can ask 50 witnesses the same thing. They're all going to say different things over time. Their memory is not going to remember exactly what happened. And that's what happens when we let these things continue to grow. Is we can, maybe they talked in a loud voice, and then we remember it as like screaming, and they called us a name when they didn't call us a name this time, they did last time. Things just get worse, or we just don't handle things, and that's just not a good foundation for a relationship. So when you let the little things go, it gets out of hand. You know, our feelings, if we were able to just say, you know, can we spend some time and arrange it? We're willing to wait. You don't have time until Saturday. Okay. But if we're trying to spend time with them, and it doesn't matter to them what we're asking, to where they can't even say yes or no. And we're willing to accept a no, and maybe we can adjust it to next month or whatever, but we just want to be on the same page. And that's where our foundation crumbles. We have our we have our basic needs and we have our wants. Wants are easier to compromise, but when you have a need, we're in a relationship because love is necessary in life. There's failure to thrive with babies that aren't loved. It causes brain damage in these babies. And that doesn't just heal, you know, so as we're going through this, we're getting brain damage. But we got to remember, as opposed to looking at it as they were always there for me, their body was always there for you. Was their heart and mind and spirit always there for you? The foundation started to crumble, and they didn't want to repair it with us. They overlooked what could have been fixed. So when we look back and feel guilty that we could have done something different, we came to them with the wood or the cement or whatever it is you need for a foundation, the bricks, and we're like, you know, this is too heavy for me to do by myself. Can you help me? Let's repair our foundation. And we even brought the supplies. This is, you know, what we need, and they just let it crumble. So when you look back, you know, have faith in who you are. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But on the fixable things, did they want to work through it? You know, just promising to put the bricks in. We bring the bricks to them and they're like, okay, I'll put the bricks on the foundation. And it's a false promise. It's still going to crumble. The future faking. If they're like, yes, I'll do it next week, you're like, okay, based on my knowledge, it'll crumble in a year. So, okay, a week is all right. So they keep putting things off. You know, can we fix this foundation of our relationship? They put it off and put it off and put it off. We're waiting for them to do their part in it. And so their promises of whether it's to go to therapy and they don't go, or to give us more time and they don't, or to talk nicer and they don't, they're not doing their part on the foundation. They're blindsiding us because we're like, cool, we're on the same page. I brought you the bricks. It's your promise that you said you would put the bricks in the foundation. And when they have no intent on doing it, our whole foundation is disrupted because we believed that they would do their part. And so we're looking back like it could have been fixed. But sometimes things do need two people. You know, I can't move my dresser by myself. Sometimes, you know, you can do great things, but you can't always do everything by yourself. And if you're going to do it by yourself, why be in a relationship? You know, if you could talk to yourself, if you could, you know, you should be able to feel a sense of contentment and self-worth. You don't have to rely on another person. But it does get lonely. Yeah, you know, I'm alone. And it's a different kind of connection when you're in love with somebody, especially if that's what you want. Some people prefer to be alone. Usually there's different kinds of people where you just have this, like, I got so much love to give. That's why sometimes people get involved in charities or volunteer. But narcissists can do that too. Sometimes they want it for the adoration or status, or to be like, you know, I'll go be a candy striper at a hospital so I can meet a doctor, where it's manipulative. You know, they're not there to really help, but to get. Now, granted, people are getting stuff from them because they are helping, doing the candy striping thing. But when you're in a relationship, you don't want to be manipulated or fooled, because it goes deeper than, just having somebody, help you with laundry or cook or fix the car. Like, we could take the car to a mechanic, or maybe the neighbor would help us fix the car. We're in a relationship for the love, and we're giving, and then they start taking more from us. And we have all this love to give, and the narcissist just feeds off of it. And then something shifts. It's like a light switch. Just instantly they see something like that they don't like anymore. They get irritated by our traits. Maybe they don't like the way we sneeze. All of a sudden it starts irritating them. And it's like, I can't really change the way I sneeze. But now they find you irritating. And then it just goes down from there. One little thing. And it often doesn't make sense. A lot of times that's possibly they're jealous of somebody else's relationship, or they found a new supply. They're starting to have some inner turmoil. Are they with the right person? Because their depth doesn't go real deep. So they see something bright and shiny, it catches their eye, as opposed to just appreciating. People look nice, you can appreciate, but to where they start craving and questioning, as opposed to feeling that love. That's why we were bonded to them. We felt a love. Just like, when you have a child, it's a different kind of bonding than, other children. You can love other children, but you don't have as much time with them. When you fear losing something, that deepens a bond. So I had said before, you fear possibly losing your child to SIDS, or they get sick and you're scared that they're gonna get better or not. So the love deepens. But the narcissist doesn't fear they'll lose us, because they feel that they already have us. So the dynamics are kind of crazy. They're not developing love. It goes so fast that they haven't really invested their heart in us. They've just gotten cocky, like, yeah, I own that, and I can take advantage of it because it's mine. They didn't go through the process of connecting with our heart, and it seemed like they did, but it's kind of weird how they describe it. It's like we were connecting with our own heart, because when things are good, they see who we are. And they talk about the mirroring, and this is where it gets tricky. So they see us for who we are, somebody admirable. And then they're reacting to us. So we're seeing ourselves in the eyes of them seeing us. But after a while, they're going to be like, oh, that's a person. There's flaws with people. So as the mirroring gets knocked down, the devaluation, we're looking at the way they see. It's like they're putting their faults onto us. It doesn't always have to be an exact match, though. Like, let's say we put on weight. That might be something that they just don't want to be seen as heavy. So their insecurities about if they ever got heavy, or if they are heavy, goes on to us. And it's sad to see how we're looking at them in the end, how they're putting themselves on us. And that's where we start feeling uncomfortable, because that's not who we are. So I hope that made sense, where the mirroring, when they're down here in the devaluation stage, they are seeing themselves, and they put it on us, all their negative traits. The devaluation brought us down here, and it's something that's foreign to us, because we're like, I'm a good person. Why are you putting this on me? Why are you cutting me down? Why, when I do the right things, do you not see it? Why do you not care? I'm a caring person. Why can't we balance that? And that mirroring thing is a concept that takes a while to really sink in, because we're thinking, we had something great. Why are we ruining it? They will self-sabotage. It's just inherent in them. So when things are good, they self-sabotage. um it's almost like a fear of having a great life, because they want what they had in their childhood. It sounds dumb, but they want what they had in their childhood because that's their comfort level. And a lot of them either went through some kind of abuse, and sometimes they talk about how they had their ego stroked too much. They just feel entitled. So if we ever are like, what, no, I'm not dropping everything right now. I'm in the middle of work. I will come get you as soon as I can. They just feel entitled. Now, if they're about to die or there's something major, they might need help. But the cycles that you go through in a narcissistic relationship, um, even when things get good again, because in the cycle they'll love bomb to get things good. It's just to make sure you don't leave. Sometimes they push you away because they want to feel that kind of confirmation that we won't leave. So they push us away to make sure we won't leave. Does that make sense? But they're uncomfortable because they know how miserable they are as people. So we're thinking, can't we just have a nice relationship, like we're rock solid? And then they're like, no, I'm pushing you away to make sure you don't leave. And you're like, I wasn't going to leave. So it's a lot of mind games, but I just thought it was something to reflect on. Looking back, how much of your life did they destroy? And in the end, did they even care? You know, did they truly care? I mean, they might care they had a house that crumbled, a relationship that crumbled, but it was just an object. Would their feelings have been any different, any more remorseful if it was a different house? That's what we are. We're just different people. The new supplies, the old supplies. Everybody is different. Just like if you've ever had a dog and it passed away and you get a new dog, each one has their own differences. And you do bond a little bit different with each, animal. And they have different personalities. But as far as how they treat the new supply, people are creatures of habit, you know. They just don't stop destroying things. They overlook the little things that could build the strongest foundation. They take whatever they have for granted. And when you take things for granted, you don't care for it as much. You just think it's always going to be there. And then they get unsettled and push us away or don't handle things. So I just thought it was a kind of neat little saying that I saw. So I wanted to share it with you. Please like and subscribe and see you in the next video. Have an awesome day.